Yeah, but Jay's so I can't even move it. I thought you there was like a problem. What's that? We're gonna go to Rick's and look at Iowa Creek. Like it's garage doors.
You ready? Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Hey guys, I want to thank the council for letting us be in front of you today. So I'm Greg McGowan with Commonwealth Engineers. I have John Webson, project manager with Commonwealth Engineers, and Dylan Selvage, project engineer with Commonwealth Engineers. What we've been doing is the town has an opportunity to make some improvements to your water utility. Today, come to you to provide you the preliminary engineering report of our study of the existing system and what those improvements would look like afterwards. And so, John and Dalton will give you a little bit of a background on your existing system and then tell you about the improvements that we're looking at here. Again, today is to present to the council, let you guys have some input and let us know how you guys feel about the project as is. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to John to let you talk a little bit about why we got to the point we are today.
Thanks, Greg. As you mentioned, my name is John Wetzel with Commonwealth Engineers. We really appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning and thank everybody for allowing us to come out and about our opportunity to work with the town, and we hope you like what we present today. I just want to give a brief overview of the existing potable water system here in town and hit on some issues or considerations of that existing system. Then I'm going to turn it over to Dalton to kind of talk about potential project to alleviate maybe some issues that we'll I don't want to take a lot of time to go over the existing system, but a couple points I want to make. Is everybody pretty familiar with your town's water system? All right, just real high level overview. You have a well field that's about 10 miles southwest of town, kind of closer to the river over there where there's groundwater availability. There's two wells in the in the well field. Those wells are in the floodplain, so if you've ever been out there to see the wells, the actual pump and everything sets up on this platform, sets up about 10, 12 feet above grade. Each of the wells are 12-inch cased wells that go down about 70, 80 feet. But they're rated for 250 gallon a minute, each well. So each well is a gallon, 360,000 gallons per day if they run all day long. They have chlorination facilities down there. There is no filters, but you do have chlorine down there. And then the water gets pumped from that position through a 12-inch main that comes along County Road 300 north all the way east to 41. And then at 41, as we come north, it ties into the existing 6-inch main. And that 6-inch main, I think, has been there for about 70, 75 years or so. And that comes up in the tank that's here in corporate limits. You serve areas to the northwest, also areas to the south, down by the lake down there. And then as you go out to the well field along that transmission main from the well field out, serve there as well. Roughly, the town uses about 250,000 gallons of water a day on average, but obviously that water usage fluctuates during the year. During peak times, you use over 500,000 gallons a day on peak days. There's a criteria that IDM and Great Portages look at that they want you to be able to service your system when the largest well is out of service. You only have 2 wells, they're identical. We take one out of service, you only have one well, 250 gallon a minute, that only produce about 360,000 gallons a day. So right now you can't make what IDM wants to see as far as meeting peak day usage with one well out of service. Another couple of considerations there, 500 gallon a minute, there's got a 12-inch main that comes over to US 41, but there's only a 6-inch main from there up to the town. And that 6-inch main has less than a quarter of the capacity of what a 12-inch does. So there's somewhat of a bottleneck there when you're pumping from the wells, and both wells will be on into town. That 500 gallon minute that both wells long will be a problem to get here in town with that 6-inch main. And that 6-inch main, when the wells are off, also limits flow availability back down to that area down there in peak times, especially in emergency times. So that's kind of a bottleneck. Another thing with that 6-inch main I mentioned a while ago, that there's roughly 70 years old in parts of it, AC main, so it's getting up there in age, and you could argue about what's the useful life of a pipe, but when you get up to 70 years, you're getting toward the end of that useful life. So there are some things there to kind of consider. That we took into considerations to kind of look at what improvements could be made. The well field was a big consideration with that one well out of service. Also, those wells have been there for around 40 years. Electric components on those wells, they have some age to them. I mentioned that there's a platform up there. That platform holds the motor, holds the electrical equipment. It's a pretty small area. It doesn't meet today's NEC electrical code standards. Yeah, because that is a small platform up there. If you were putting a new well in today, it would be a big. Some other considerations for the codes up there on the electrical equipment. There's no emergency power out there, so if your power does go out of the well field, there's an old generator there that would kick on. So that is a vulnerability. Also then, as I mentioned, that 6-inch main, we have some bottlenecks with that 6-inch main and the flow characteristics of it. But that was some of the main considerations that we were looking at, issues on the system. And that kind of played into what we're looking at for possible improvements, and then what could, some dollars could possibly be available for it. So I'll turn it over to Dalton, and he'll go through these proposed improvements.
Most of the board here with the map might be kind of hard for some of you in the back to see. This is a map. We got Shelburn right here, Sullivan down here, and down over here is your existing well field, right? So the 6-inch main currently runs from Sullivan along Highway 41 to Shelburn. So the first project the first component we were looking at is the new transmission main from Sullivan to Shelburn. So yeah, so here's the blown up that. So proposing a 16-inch main along the west side of Highway 41, and then goes into Shelburn. This will go straight from the existing 500,000-gallon water tank and tie in down here to service some of these customers. It will provide additional fire flow capabilities. Some of the fire flow down here is slightly limited, but this will provide plenty of additional capacity for growth and things. And another big benefit of a 16-inch main is, you're pushing water right now through a 6-inch. When you go to a 16-inch main, your pumps will be more efficient, so the town will have slightly reduced electricity bills for current running those pumps. So this is the largest project component, this new 16-inch main. Next portion is a new booster station upgrade down here. So currently, Shelburn has a few different connections with other municipalities that really only Indian American Water to purchase water if the wells went out or something went wrong. But doing some booster station upgrades here would provide you an additional backup emergency source for water, which would be a good thing. And this just entails new pumps and some electrical components. There's already a booster station building there, but there's no pumps operational right now. And then this third poster board is looking at your well fields, where we are looking at doing the things that John discussed, like some electrical upgrades, some new pumps. Your wells, each well is rated for 500 GPM, but the pumps right now are only producing 250 GPM each. So the idea is we want to maximize what your wells are capable of, put the largest pumps in, and that will also provide some energy efficiency upgrades. And then the big other thing is providing emergency power to the wells, so that there's no power to the generator, they're running, you won't have water. So that's a big overview of the projects, the 3 different projects, components. As far as cost for these, we've been discussing with EDA some pretty more to this. But the total cost for all of these projects is about $9.7 million, but there is significant funding or financial assistance from EDA available due to the disaster relief fund. So, Greg, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So, in relation to the storms in 2024, I think that's the time frame that Sullivan County experienced. There was some financial funding through the EDA and Economic Development Administration to be able to help offset some of this cost. This is a great opportunity. The program, this project is laid out in order to maximize that application and be able to fit the needs of the utilities. So, and Chris is here with Thrive, who has been working with EDA to kind of see how that goes. Her organization is fantastic at doing that. And so any questions regarding the EDA process, I will turn over to Chris, but that's kind of our presentation. Want to see what comments or questions you guys can have for us at this time.
One thing we want to point out with these improvements, first of all, that 6-inch main, what we've contemplated is it would replace the 6-inch main. The 6-inch main can be taken out of service once the 16-inch main will be constructed, and so it would serve multiple purposes, using more flow capability from the well field, from dumpster expanded, gives you more flow capability, bigger pipe over to where a lot of the users are located at.
What pole is the strategy for the generator? Like five, I'll put them on the rest, that's right.
Yeah, and then just bring the conduit to the walls.
Yeah, you gotta go lower.
Yeah, the two crossings that you got will require a board underneath there, and it would be a case board, so. See, right now would be a sleeve steel casing, and the carrier pipe would do that. Still a job to do that, yeah, you can access either side of the road there, and still casing will allow that pipe to replace it.
So this has nothing to do with the water situation and the sewer and the water, stormwater situation and that. This is all just taking care of making sure the pumps are running properly.
This is potable water system only.
Okay.
It doesn't impact the storm sewer and or the sanitary sewer with these improvements.
Okay.
Yes, under the line you're going to install, will the pressure be, the water pressure be about the same? Will it be greater or smaller?
That's a good question.
The same. This will increase pressure for all the customers in the area, or maintain a higher pressure.
Let's be clear on that though, okay? We're not, the tank creates your pressure. So you have a maximum availability pressure, but the pumps are on board when the tank is full. Called the static pressure. Yeah. But what will increase will be residual pressure and usage times. Sometimes if you have a lot of usage, that 6 has a bottleneck, the pressure may come down. The 16-inch main will allow that to be very steady.
Okay, well, I asked the question, how long do you think? Off the top, you think much?
From the what field?
Yes. So my pressure would be very simple, right?
Yes.
What would be
Depending, you running fast and for, but it should be about 25 month process.
The actual construction would be roughly about a year, maybe a little bit shorter, but it kind of depends on you guys to talk a little bit more about that.
Sure, it's going to depend on EDA. So when we submit the application, we intend to do that, middle of June. If they're quick and turn around within a month, and get the award started, we could potentially see something started this year.
Other questions?
We talked before about the neighborhood across the highway around the highway 400, around the 600 was way up about, if we talked about that. And then also there, Park Street as it comes into town, put a tap off that so we can have a great section of all of them, and being able to feed it off of that line coming in. That's still a possibility.
Yes, we did consider here in Spark Street to include this in that project. And then over 400, it seemed like it would be for this area over here, rather than included in this project.
Sorry, I didn't.
When you upgrade it to a 16-inch line, are you changing the pump to increase the pressure? Because if you start off with 250 gallons of right? You're coming down to 12, you're reducing to a 6. You're taking the 6 out, putting a 16 in, but you're not doing nothing with it to increase the pressure. How's that 16 going to give you the pressure without a different pump?
It's a good question, kind of the same question in
I couldn't get it
way
right.
here. Okay, right now, the pumps are 150 gallon minute. We are looking to increase those pumps up to 500 gallon minute. So when your pumps are on, it's a little bit higher pressure at your pump. And you lose a little bit of pressure, I say pressure, grade line. You lose a little bit even more as it comes into town, before town, to 12 inch, It will allow pump, up to that 500 gallon per each pump. You will still have a higher pressure grade line after those pumps are on. There will still be some energy loss as it goes back to the tank. But whatever overflow your tank is, when those pumps are on, that energy level is a bit higher when the pumps are on. And then when the pumps turn off, it'll be just like it is now. The energy level will be dictated by the tank level, but that 16-inch will help where you will not lose pressure when those pumps are off. It'll keep that pressure very steady all down in the southern part of the system.
Yeah, I just didn't hear you say you're gonna upsize the pump to 500 if you go to 16 pipe. It's kind of, it works.
Both those are good questions on the pressure.
Did I hear something about a Thrive grant, or was it just EDA?
I didn't hear that.
Thrive does not have grants.
Okay.
We work with EDA and other funding agencies and communities to bring funding to them.
Gotcha.
And I might say that this particular EDA grant is very unique. They can get up to 20 million. So that's why we're thinking, oh, let's do as much as we can, because we've never seen this type of availability before. And it's very helpful when it is, and it's like,
What's your time frame on getting this going?
this is
Within a year?
If EDA comes around quick.
you could possibly see some activity by the end of the year. Now, what that activity is, we're not sure, because we'll have to determine which is priority, that kind of thing.
And if EDA would act favorably on this, there'd be a lot of things that have to take place before you actually see construction or that pipe going in the ground or construction out. We would have to get plans, specifications ready. EDA will have to review those. We talked about 16-inch main easements. We'd have to get the land rights associated with that before we'd be allowed to begin construction, and we'd have to get all the permits as well. There'd be a lot of permits involved in crossing the NDOT right of way, crossing county road right of way, any ident construction, any creeks or waterways that we cross. We'd have to get all the permitting in line as well before any construction can take place. And that takes, unfortunately, takes a lot of time. So even if EDA acts fairly quickly, we're probably at least a year more out before you actually see any construction going on.
You see surveying and things like that.
So the grant's at 20 million, and we hit
You could-
20%?
You could ask up to 20 million and 10%.
10%?
Actually, yeah.
10%?
If it was,
Project to obviously,
let me replay it. There is a 10, 20.
20.
But,
Max 20.
yeah, EVA's got weird.
Yeah, their numbers a little different than ours.
Yeah, they have a sliding scale, you know what I mean? So,
If you're doing math, we are, the EDA portion of it will be on construction. And that's the part that we're going after, that's the most successful. So, successful strategy when working with EDA is to keep it inside. Now, that is the largest portion of the entire project. Yeah.
That's part of the cost also.
Yes, yes, and we have those numbers in the PDR through the board. Now, while you guys are finishing up.
If we're talking this construction and those percentages, we potentially federal dollars to be over 6 million. But that's
so when we were talking, part of that is, EVA looks at a lot of different categories. We really work with EVA for most of those points. We plan for the worst case, so that way if the award
Greg, you might want to mention to the audience what your previous employment and that you got a first-hand knowledge of how this program.
Yeah,
works.
so, yeah, for the board, we may not in a lot of our projects. And so I have some familiarity with the program, and which has been very beneficial working with the needs of the program as we move through there. So yeah, I have a little bit of background working with these agencies on the backside.
That's good, that's good.
Is the town still connected with the USDA? Have we got?
I believe they have a wastewater program that they have used the USDA on the past, but on this project, I think we're looking at the PDA portion of funding this time. Would you like us to read closer to the towns?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put them off the side here and let you guys. Thank you, guys.
Would there be any work down in the well itself?
Yes, they're actually going to reline the well and do casing, because that well is built in the 80s. So it should be something.
And just real details on the well itself. It is in a floodplain, so there's a casing that goes down roughly 70 feet to the ground, but that comes up above grade about 12 to 15 feet, and there's this a ladder that you have to crawl up there, and there's about an 8-foot diameter circle at the top of the platform. That's where the well sits, the pump itself and the motor panels are around there. So we would be looking to take and remove those panels, remove that platform, put a bigger platform up, redo all the electrical equipment, meet the current NEC standards and the setbacks on that. And then that casing that goes down, that casing would be lined to give it another useful life of 40 to 50 years of use. And then the generator would be placed up by the coronation building that's outside of the floodplain, so they can have access, it wouldn't flood, it wouldn't have to be up on panel or up on the platform. And then we run wiring and turn that generator back down to each of the wells. So if power goes out, the generator will automatically come on and still provide the power to run the wells if an emergency or power goes out. Thank you guys, we really do appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning. Thank you.
Come again.
Yep. I'll talk to you gentlemen about potential community survey regarding your planning priorities. That's the only thing at this point. I'm getting that help now.
All right, thank you, thank you.
So I sent the SOPs in just to get, they're just revised, so just updated, like legal updates, added a body cam, a bigger body cam policy in there, changed the use of force, and you know on it. We just put new forms in there, things like that, it's just needed like overall update. I just needed to approve and sign, so we could do all that. And I have a copy of it.
Motion for everyone to SOPs with Shelburn Police Department.
Second that. All in favor?
Well, what did you say?
Yeah.
I just go back to the fix. I don't know. What all things?
So we changed, made the use of force policy more stringent, and then, so if you look to the,
Yeah.
so, all the other stuff. Nothing changed, like for legal you have to fill out separate forms that go through it, and it has to go in front of a review board and make sure that the
So it's more of a,
yeah, it's more detailed, and then we added in, complaint form, for citizens that want complaints, and we have a specific form that we can do, on the FOIA request, instead of just sending out an email or this or that, they have to have a specific form that they have to fill out, and we're doing that as well, so that way it's more streamlined and straightforward. The town, also there's a disciplinary form to fill out rather than just doing it, and we added more structured as far as like detailing by so that it goes one-on-one. Yeah, and then, and then they also have, so for our ordinances and ordinance violations, we added in there, new forms from the old ones that we have, these now fillable so that the guys can do not just from the, easier, yes, but they do it right there, so you have one form, that's for that, the other for that, and then, let's see. Just, like updated for like as a wall change and things like that, for the new walls and everything, that but the rest of it's the same.
all right. Well, you know, like I said, because they were always kind of curious about, you know, the use of force and everything. So you had pretty much made stricter and.
Yeah, it's
more documentation.
and then, we changed our pursuit policy too, so if, unless the safety of the public is at risk for, things like that, unless the risk of, you know what I mean, versus it.
You know, so
I can still change policy for like vehicles, but just not for, because there's just too many, the probability of someone wrecking and dying, and it's like one of those things that is not gonna outweigh, right? So unless the safety of the person outweighs, you know, I mean, like the risk of, injury, death, whatever, then, you know, I mean, then I'm not gonna do it.
He loves us.
So then the next one is a proposal for a lease for the library and this side of the building here on that office.
You going to jail?
No, so it has nothing to do with that. It'd be through the Reserve Association, not through the police department, and then of course there's a couple other from the Reserve Association back there as well. So we've been talking with the library for months. So we talked to them prior to them shutting down the library, and then we've been talked with them since the library shut down as well. So I went to one of their board meetings the other day. They had me come in to a board meeting. I spoke, not the other day, like a month or two ago, whatever it was. And they are going to give us, the reserve, all the books that came from the library. So if we can get the building, we're gonna fix the building up. I know we kind of talked offline a little bit about like kitchen floor, and I know you guys have talked about like that needed to be remodeled over on that site anyways. Then we're gonna actually put the library back in there and have a community library, kind of like Chimera does, that way our kids have the ability to come in there and do that as well. Through our program that we work with the ARP, we have, she's gonna be there for right now, like, we'll do like 3 days a week starting out, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I think is what the goal is. Those 3 days could change, but we think that those are gonna be the 3 days that change. Then that allows them to be there during the daytime during the summer. That gives us a few months to figure out how we're gonna man it during the school years, you know, after winter, we need to go after that. Through the programs that we have computers, and we have like Chromebooks and stuff like that that the kids use and utilize for school work. That's what everything, everybody writes in, right? Everything. So we got those that we can put in there and do those things and all of that, and we just would like to get that going back. I didn't like to do all that on that side as well. So then that's 2 copies of the lease. So I would just ask that you guys would listen. And it's at a minimum amount of money. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you didn't make anything on it before. It's the same thing. You're not really making that wrong at all. It's just really to be able to have the ability to do that. We can manage
services. Of course, the water and sewer pretty much was standard in the library there, because you got one water meter, so everything was, the town's always picked up that utility bill. The electric and natural gas, when we went into the library, they picked up the electric and the gas bill. And I'm just throwing figures, and I could be wrong, I was estimating probably between the gas and the electric in years' time, $3,000, it was probably what it cost us around. And then we lost that. And the library left. And then when we lost revenue, the library paid $250 a month. That was $3,000. Granted, we're not getting anything right now, and we won't get anything until I have a problem with police reserves taking that building over, that spot. You know, like Jared, that's for kids, not losing anything that way. And we lost $3,000 off of revenue, but then on the utilities, we want to absorb $3,000 more by not that we pick up the utilities. That's the only concern I've got. I would like to see the reserves pick up the gas and the oil.
I thought three libraries, 300 a year minimum.
I mean, we're reading 6,
Yeah.
and, yeah.
So we are currently paying the electric and the gas of this room since we looked at it last October. We've never really resolved.
That not always been a thing, it's on the community side.
We need the senior citizens, they always pay that. So,
How about you pay for the line? That's what we know, I would pay for that, I get it. And then here's I'm 100% understanding where you're coming from on that. Like, you know, you're already like giving us the ability for like a minuscule, like, absolutely arbitrary, like, you know, and the money's not even, it's just not, right, you put a dollar figure down, right? But my thought on that was when we were thinking about that, talking about it, was that is what we're gonna provide, right? Like, so, like, it's not like, we're not a business coming in as the right person, like, we're giving we're giving it directly to the community. So, and then we're gonna forego all the costs of everything else, all the management of it, all the functions of it, all of those things that come along with it. You know, I mean, other than, I mean, obviously we have to, you know, I mean, help like get the two sides back to where they need to be. As far as like structurally, cosmetically, you know, like pretty rough, right? You know, I mean, remember like what it looked like when we went into the police department when, you know, that was like crazy. So, and I think that this building here is the large, we went in there and, it's like the large, I would say it's the absolute contributing factor to like what we're looking for, the other, like all those things like that. And clean. I'm clean, crazy clean. So,
The other thing, so what you're saying is that kind of like a spot, but we're really big electric and the gas. The reserves are paying for that, and we're just, how do you use?
well, so as Melissa said, there's two different bills. So you have this side that's one bill on a different meter, both the gas and the electric, and then the library itself is the gas and electric. So I'm suggesting in this case that you would pay, or the town would pay for the library side of it, and then the reserves would pay for this side of it here. And because that side would be 100% nothing but yeah, that's what doesn't happen.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. The other thing too, I don't know if you want to put this in the lease, it's up to the council, but the town, it needs to be ADA compliant, and it's not. And that's something the council needs to address prior to this being opened back up to the public. Well, it's gotta be access, has to be access to this.
they can, so if this is all connected, they can use the side door and, like, it's all too loud to come in that way.
Well, we do not own this part.
No, you don't.
We do not own this
Got
part.
it.
We cannot do the ADA compliance at this point. We do not own it, so that only gives us that side.
Well,
We do own it.
Right, but we own 8 feet, and then that's more than enough for them to come in that door. Now, don't get me wrong, I 100% hope that we can make that other side, and we should make that here, talk mitigate like the pushing back the, yeah, the starter or whatever, like we can utilize this until the town can, until you guys can figure out how to go on the other side. So there's a go around for just a short period of time. We just need to, we just take it on the side. Yeah, I'll go fix it real quick after I get it on the rest of the meeting. I'll just say that. Okay, yes. I'll
No, I'm not putting on it. I'm gonna grab my
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Yes, and then you're just gonna, since you got that, we'll just reword that in.
Yeah, I'll change number 5 to security utilities.
I think the timeline, we can put some, speed this up to try to get this thing ADA compliant, that's what also is that.
Where do you want me to put that in? You want me to add that or that was something?
You can just change it in the utilities system. Yeah, that'd be great. Speaking of that, we'll see what the council looking like, in the first June meeting. I'm off on June 17th, are you on June 17th? Yeah, real quick, why don't we change, if we could all meet on June 17th, see if we can request and have it at the grade school. The department council meeting at the grade school June 17th.
Well, I can have this one in 5 minutes before the meeting.
Well, no, but I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Here, because,
Oh, yeah.
here, this thing's kind of, what kind of an extension on the grade school? Correct, correct. Same time, 6 o'clock, at Matt Ridge out.
I'll find out right now.
Grade school. So it doesn't interfere with the.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
While getting that out there, here we got the system. Can it work out there because, we gotta know that thing.
As far as I'm concerned, it is you, you'll never see me park in this parking lot when you want it. It's trespassing, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I didn't know if he had changed his opinion.
I don't know. I haven't told him a year and a half. Yeah. But we need to make it,
Yeah.
we're gonna look that at the public, it needs to be, it just, we're gonna turn around. Right, exactly.
Well, some people
You know someone person that's in this room.
That everybody has access to it.
Right.
Now, like I said, I'll get the house clean and do it. Sure.
So if you can just make that change, send it back.
Okay, so just the 88. That, and then.
Yeah.
And then the utility split on the side as far as their library over on the side, okay. And then the water sewer is still the same, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I think it's on the meter.
It's just one bill.
It's on one bill.
There's really no issue with that.
Okay. And then I would say, we'll cover that about that. All right, and then, how do we go about, I feel like the biggest thing is, like I know we talked about last night, like to say, like we can get the guys to do the work on most of it. You know what I mean? Like, no different than we went there, like, we paid for so much of it, and you guys, you know, but I mean, that was when we did the police department's obviously separate, you know what I mean, but, like, we can do most of the work or whatever, but we can just, you know, like, get approved what we can do, what we can't do, like, I think we really need, obviously, I think Clinton just need to paint the walls, make some drywall, some spots that were bad, we talked about, the floor absolutely needs to be replaced, I think it would be,
Can you just like a schematic of what you want to do or lay out and have it at our June 17th meeting, price, anything like that, and we can consider, we approve?
oh yeah, that needs to be changed. So to be honest with you, outside of this lease, it's not too, like, we should probably have someone do that.
What's not on
The break box in the library.
Is it still active? There's none.
Yes.
Well, can you,
There's no breaker box that's separate that's on there.
can you just put a list?
And there's no power over there right now.
Matt, could you just give us a list of what needs improvement? Just have like the whole thing as a thing, just go through the fine tooth comb, have us a list. You can give it to us, if you could give it to us like 4 or 5 days prior to the council, you know, send it to us, so we can look over it, and we can kind of, and try to make some kind of decision on the 17th, so we go forward with this, especially like.
And I'll go knock this out.
Yeah, you gotta remember, like, send anything, I'll bring it up.
That'd be awesome.
We just have to make approval in the minutes of the meeting that we accepted their termination. I think I made copies of all theirs, right?
Yeah, I've read through it several times, and I guess the contract expired, and the meeting's
I
really.
don't know, Jay, you didn't vote, or is it right verbally, you guys have reviewed it and accepted it?
Have you got a copy of it?
Yeah, it's.
Is it got a?
We'll pass it.
It's the, so it's their letter saying that they're terminating, and then it's the copy of the original lease from like 1979.
Yeah. I think we ought to put it on the record that we did, you may have somebody down the road say, well, what about that, and you guys look at it, and then.
Yeah, I read it, and, it's written some, more language, that's for sure. Yeah, I look up to.
I think we ought to put it, we probably ought to make a notation in the minutes that this was discussed, and the town council acknowledges that the Sullivan County Public Library, terminated their lease with the town of Shelburn Public Library, something like that. It's very general. It was like I said, you can't stop them from, but I think we ought to, I think for the record, there will be something in this that we did acknowledge it, we didn't see that they exercised their termination of the lease. And we can't really make a motion vote on it because they did what they said.
We're not letting them leave.
Right, yeah, I'll make a motion that they don't let, we won't let them, right.
Next up, so at the last meeting, Jay weren't here, but I'll give a quick recap. We had 2 invoices from Bain Welker. They came down and worked on the backhoe that we bought but don't use, 2 separate times for battery issues. So they have an invoice, 2 total invoice totals of $1,584.80. So I presented it to the council. Alex said he wanted to contact them and kind of confirm what's going on when we bring it up tonight.
Do we have a pay or something like that, or leases and all?
It's not in the 2 minutes.
So just when you make a motion also, so it's 2 invoices, and then because it was from April, but we didn't pay it because we tabled it to talk. There's a $12.40 interest, so your total is $1,584.50, and it is Bain Welker here.
Okay, yeah, that, diagnosed it, and they came back and like all of them asked me if it was one of them warranty items, and that they were all messed up, and they took that as come down to fix it again. And so is that another $500? sets are so long because, well, it didn't work properly, they're just not out of grounding bits, right, so we can hit it at same pilot phenomenon, just like it's
Since
saying.
we're under contract, and we have to pay them, what we pay. I make a motion that we pay them $1,500 and, what was it? $1,584, $8.
Second that, all in favor?
Next, I have an invoice from, we bought the new cop car, and that was in middle, sometime. So we got half a loan from the bank, half, we paid out of edit for the purchase of the cop car, and then all of the, like, adding everything. There was an additional something that must have got added after that was not included in that invoice, so we have a second invoice, for $1,197.25 from First Due Communications, which is the same company that did all this stuff, for a tough book, cradle, and power supply. So I just need, one, a motion, and then two, where you, I'm assuming edit fund, but just confirm where you want to pay out. I'll pass it on.
Is that like a computer?
I think, yeah, I think it's like the thing.
I think it's for the,
I think it's the little. Anyways, where you want to pay from, just that you're confirming, we can approve and pay.
They handle it?
Can the, do we have a line on the budget of the general fund that's coming out?
For police department, no, all you have is the town marshal, uniform allowance.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I just need a motion.
I make a motion to pay out the debt fund for the $1,197.05 for, this car.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
You might have to pass that back.
Yeah. I got you.
Okay, next I got an invoice, I don't know if I'm supposed to pay it or if I'm supposed to send it somewhere, it is from Solomon Family Eye Care. We've got something stacked inside. So I don't know if, are we supposed to pay it, do I need to turn this over to somebody?
Did he get, when did it happen, where did it happen?
It was right for the last week.
April 21st, it looks like.
421.
Where did it happen?
Well, there's no order. So I think what we're doing.
Okay, and that's pretty much,
That's all.
that's it. So, then that's a employee-related injury, ways employees, so we took care of it.
I just didn't know if I was supposed to turn it over to the cop or.
I turned in what was going on, she went through there first.
Yeah, he did call me and tell me that I was messed up, but he didn't initially want to know about it, figure out, and the next day, he wasn't.
You should just told her, no, you're going anyway. If you get anything, I don't care if they get a splinter in the finger, because if that turns out that that gets to be an issue down the road, they could come back on us.
And normally that's what they do, normally I don't get the invoice. Normally I just get a report from
Right.
Springer saying, here's what happened. and-
Yeah, anytime they get hurt, reported, and paid out, it's fine.
They were terrible.
Absolutely.
He told me after the meeting, or last meeting, he had some garage, it was a lot of money.
Yeah, that can happen. That can really happen.
For Landon Financial Services, for $27.06. I have no idea what's wrong with never paying me for. I don't know if that has to do with backup because for this or. Maybe something else.
Go and see what it was.
What was the name of it?
think I could get hold of him, see if we can get a little bit more detail. I just said Andrew Payne.
Alex, do you care to check your paperwork when you get home? If you have your just to see, because if it is, it's just easier for me to pay.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
If so, then I'm assuming we'll get another bill eventually next month for the month.
I bet you that's what it is.
Is it, I think it, is it monthly or semi?
It's every 3 months, I think, so.
Or,
I'm pretty sure.
I think something.
Okay, well, I'm just putting that. Last invoice I have is from Bill. He's charging us for lift rental, $300 a day, labor for 2 men, hydraulic fluid to disassemble Christmas tree and remove 6 snowflakes, $535.46 is your invoice.
Yeah, I reached out to Aaron. Yeah, I think I ran it by Aaron, and then I reached out to Bill Sturman, and I talked to Bill, and I said, can you give us a price? He said $500, so he's really close to what he said he would do it for, so, that's what that's for. I told him just to send it to the town, and, I don't think, you know, she was pretty much on it.
Okay.
I make a motion that we pay that invoice to Bill Sturman for the removal of the snowflakes and the Christmas tree.
From Edit.
Yeah.
I second it.
All in favor?
Alright, and then you guys have, I started with Jay. Jay has the payroll, the docket, the vouchers, also you guys fund report. And I just wanted to highlight your water operating fund is negative $12,794.15.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you real quick, on the fund report, is that for the month of May?
No, April. Because May hasn't closed out yet, because today's still the 30th. So
Oh,
that's-
that's what it is. Can you, I'm not good today, but can you send, a fund detail for the water operating and sewer operating for April? And why I'm asking is, I just want to break down, it's kind of hard to read on the, docket.
So fund detail for our water and sewer for April, you want to
Yeah.
organize it specifically, like by theme?
Just the fund, I want a separate 6101 fund detail for the month of May, and then a 6201 fund detail for the month, I mean, for the month of April, I'm sorry, month of April, for both of them, just separate. I want to look at the detail of this 103. Just to see, I want to track it a little bit better, what's going on.
And then I have one last thing, just to bring your attention, so you work out so that since you got the minutes, I brought up to everyone, pass this down. So, and we'll do the math, that I explained to you too, so when you guys start over in 24, we have 3 employees, and I'm sorry, 3 laborers at 35 hours each, which would put you at 105 hours to do the almost 3 labors. One made 19, one made 17, one made 15, so that's $51 an hour. That's a total of $5,355. Obviously, that's not exactly what it's up, just give you a number. Since then, we now have 4 laborers that out of 40 hours, so now instead of 105 hours per week on those 4 laborers, we're getting 160. They now also make 24, 23, 19, 17, which then add together makes $53 an hour. So when you do the math there, now instead of paying your payroll about $300, we're paying $13,080. And that's also not including, they used to only get 1 hour of extra, now they get 2 hours of extra. So what I have copied now is that you guys can see in the numbers. Everything, even though we have 4 laborers, is like we're paying 5, because that person who's on call is working so much, not necessarily working because you guys also have the 2 hours, like you're listening to that week, now that we got paid 99 hours. Is that, like, are we getting this okay? So because of that negative number in your water, that's a lot of the reasons we're Just something to keep in mind, a lot of the other overtime, they try to either, you know, on Thursday, if they're gonna have overtime, they'll go home, or, you know, they try to kind of balance it out.
Now, Melissa, that's just maybe just the straight dollar per hour.
Yes, that's not including, so then more because you're adding the comp.
Okay, well, also, if you would you run those same numbers and include the FICA employer share on these hours?
Yeah.
And then also, I want to see the PERF employer share on this also.
Anyway, my also concern is, so when we talk with the bigger tell you this in our rate study,
Okay.
okay, so when we talk with them, we gave them salary ordinance, so they're going off of what the salary ordinance says, but as you can see on the time cards, we're paying way beyond what it was on the salary ordinance. So even when they come in next month and say, hey, you got raised your rates 5% or 7% or whatever, that's not taking all of that extra into the account. They're all looking at it. Yeah, okay, this guy is supposed to make this is what we're budgeting for, but we're moving way more than that. Some of them double. So we just have to figure out, what's gonna happen. You're gonna have mad residents, like, if they're crazy, you know what I mean? But then you may have to come back in a year and do it again, and still overspending the payroll section.
What you're saying is, I think this information should get to Jeremy.
Yeah.
I mean, this needs to get to the, you're gonna have to reevaluate, we're gonna have to put brakes on this rate ordinance, because this is skewing everything way off.
And then one other.
They won't be cut short.
One other layer to this, I know Alex and Aaron knew if they were there, but we were reported back in February to the FLSA, Fair Labor Standards, whatever there. Anyway, someone reported them to us saying that we were not paying our employees enough. So they came, they did a whole 4-month investigation. They also helped discover that we're overpaying. And then one of the things they said, this is also part of my mistake, I didn't know this. So if you look at the time cards that you guys have, so when they have their on-call, supposed to also get like time and a half. But that's all it is, they're getting paid this entire time. So looking back, like the state board of accounts are going to pay that back, no idea. However, they did say because we are now aware of it, and the FLSA is aware of it, we have to change that now.
So the only thing that actually work.
Is hours worked. Yes, so anything that they clock in, clock out, absolutely time and a half, no problem. But those extra 2 hours that we're throwing on, we've got to figure out another way, either get rid of those, or figure out if you're gonna pay them extra for their extra, whatever.
Is there a report back?
But, and to that, when we do get that, I want to change the, how they get their time cards, and it will have their, overtime. It will have their overtime broken down, so they can see them on there.
So they have LAS didn't recommend
You're paying your employees, so like, had they come in and said, hey, this guy worked this many hours, we should pay enough, we would have been getting brought up, we would have red flag. But because it was together, like, that's not his job to come in and be like, I mean, he told us about it, like, Alex and Aaron there told him about it, but it's not his job to like, enforce us to make a change, told us to make changes, that's not. Now, on state where their accountants come in, if they've been made aware of it by the FLSA, that we overpaid, then that would get audited next, whatever they decide.
So are they gonna provide a report on the findings to us?
I think so. So I had to send over a bunch of documentation to show that we had paid out and changed from having comp time to overtime, and I had to back them. So,
You might, if you would, you might reach out to see the timeliness when we're gonna get this report to
Okay.
us, so we need to figure out, really look at this before this gets way out of hand.
in the meantime, since we are now aware of that we're paying OT on time, not actually work, how you want to move forward? Like, I didn't just want to stop paying their time and a half on it, because like that was, you know, they were all upset, obviously, that they're expecting something on there. So how do you want me
See if he could, give you some tentative dates.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we need to figure out something, but do the right thing, whatever that is.
But if you would, you need to reach out to Jared Campbell and send him the calculations that you've got, Melissa.
Okay.
He needs to look at that. I mean, like I say, we want to delay this. Rate ordinance, rate increase ordinance, because it's not right. And I agree, we go and pass this and we're going to cut ourselves short 6 months from now. It'll get a lot worse.
Kind of move on.
Exactly. We gotta get our hands on this, but we gotta get our hands on it real quick.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, we're losing money fast here. We can't, we gotta get this accurate. I think the wastewater, because it's the water that's taking most of the hit.
Yeah, I think the wastewater, we only take out like 2%.
Right, it's not.
Water is taking the biggest hit.
Right, the water's a big thing here. Yeah, this is gonna be, so you're saying that this $103,000 roughly for April, the water operating, most of that is payroll.
I mean, you're looking,
13,000 times more.
yeah, you're looking at,
About 50%.
right, but that's not including overtime, that's just if they were only working their 40 hours, not.
Can you
I
do-
understand that.
Can you do me this? Would it be difficult to figure what the payroll, this $103,000, how much was actual payroll for the month of April?
It might be, is that document from Alex, does that? break it down?
Oh, that's right,
Does that break it down?
okay. Okay, then, yeah,
What's your total number there?
I've got, all right, that's, all right.
$27,223.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
So we wanna see how much is coming from water? Or just how
Well,
much?
I think you just pointed me in the right direction. If I just take the accounts payable voucher register just for the water operating for the month of April, that's gonna give you the figure I need. So,
Okay.
yeah, you don't need to, you don't need to break it down. Actually, I don't even worry about messing with that with a detailed fund report. I don't need it for either one, because that's what my concern is 100 and some thousand. So, and you're pretty well telling me it's payroll. I got it in front of me, yeah. So,
25,000. So, prior to, only 40 hours.
So, well, that was very cool. So with 3 employees and they used 35 hours. They were working on the total of 105 hours.
no,
No, I'm just saying what salary it was.
Yeah.
And right now you're at 4 employees, 40 hours, so it's 100. So I don't know if they also work that.
Yeah, so, that's what we need to, figure out, basically the difference.
Yeah. Two last quick things. One, TIF management annual report. So Jay emailed it to you early April and March. I mentioned at the last meeting, but you guys haven't reviewed it yet. I went ahead and passed it through. We don't have to vote on it. We just have to have it in the minutes for stable accounts that it was presented to you. You have reviewed it, and that's fine. So,
Oh man, this is small.
yeah. So,
You got your swimmers on. I can't find it on Washington County. Oh, right, camp trip was there.
and then last thing of that is you guys will, and Aaron interviewed 2 prospective employees to replace Sharon Schroeder as the, part-time, yeah, and here's their, their applications.
I didn't get to see them initially.
So you did have, you guys did interview both candidates?
Yeah.
Okay, so, you said, I didn't win that in interviews, so I'm at the point, since I didn't ask any questions or hear any feedback, I'm gonna go with whatever the council, whatever you guys decide who you want, I'll go for whatever. If I was part of it, that was a different story. Probably
instead of putting them both on 5, since they were separated that way, I just put the utilities on 5 and then put the 88 compliance on section 7. I mean, it's more, like that's where it belongs. Like that's where it would fit out.
Well, I'm gonna put a motion that we hire Captain Trout. Work position, workers. You got that? I wasn't at the interview, right?
Yeah, I'm on that.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
And then just to confirm, we have documents, same pay as mandatory through the 11:02 hour.
Okay.
So is that all same?
Yeah, that's just one with you.
Okay, so 102 per hour. We have all of them.
Okay, everybody want to do it? You want to do it?
Yeah.
And that's all I have. You guys attached here, you have one, resident fill out form, and then I had 2 questions. One was from Mr. Cunningham about some properties, and another one was somebody called us about, no, last week. That's all I got.
Vote on that.
Yeah, library. What's the, like, is it a year? Or is it half a year? 5 years, okay.
You want to continue?
And I added section 5 on utilities and section 7 for the 88.
You said 7?
7 for the 88 compliance.
What did you call that word?
I just, so it doesn't have a physical address.
Yeah.
So it's just referred to as, old community club, is what it's referred to. Yes, there's a library and of course, because technically, so I looked it up and we were trying to figure it out.
They used to get out there.
And they would just give, but they have an actual field house with no
So
physical.
old community
address.
club.
So this entire site is 30 into urban, so, and I make sure on the lease that it separates, it says that we don't control the address is 30 into urban, just the section known as a community club. No, it was,
So, while they're doing that, the town currently, our name is on the gas and electric, so we
just get switched over, and then for the trial for the community
yeah,
club.
so you guys are gonna do some, we're gonna do, right? So I'll give you the account number for those two. It was a hassle to get these switches the first time from the club. They'll need to do your number. Your number, we'll need that.
Is it labeled on which one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It won't be finished when, we're reading you guys all out, account numbers, all the things that happen.
So, basically, the
Understand.
fire.
It just means that, like, we will cover anything, if we have a loss of ours, yes, you know, something that's from our neighborhood, it's same as if like you, like, have like renter's insurance or something like that. Like the landlord's not responsible for your contents, they're responsible for the building and structure, and we're responsible for the contents within that belong to us. Which, I mean, that's normal and standard, right? Like, you know, I mean, like if you rent your house out to someone and it burns down, like you're not buying all their clothes and stuff again, like that's on them to do that. And then I'll reach out to them and see, I mean, I'm assuming like most of that stuff is abandoned in there, but I'll reach out to them and ask them what they're gonna do with it, what they wanna do with it. We'll reach out, we'll have to do that. So, look, one thing that we did talk about, so the only thing that they need in there for the bottom of those, that they need for is a refrigerator and a freezer, and they hand it out. Well, nobody uses that but us. We have for years, we're the only one that uses that 5 or 10 in there is ours. So we're just gonna move that out, and they can put their refrigerator and stuff in there, because they use it on a community building anyway. So, I mean, if you guys are good with that, and then that negates any problems. They have
Yes. Have you had it for long enough? Have you had it for long enough? I just asked you a question. I want to ask the town a question. Yeah, I've led this community all my life. I love this town. I appreciate what you guys do. I know it's not easy. If you think I'm here complaining, I'm really not. What I'm asking you guys is to do the right thing. Our community is hurt. Just north of me, there's a rental trailer, hadn't been mowed in 2 years. Besides, the vacant property has been cleaned up in 5 years. Going down the street, the whole community is this way. Now, we used to have a town marshal, he'd go around, take care of that bench. I don't know why. My question is this, I want you to do the right thing and start doing something about this. What we got in my neighborhood now are possums, raccoons, skunks, and rats. Because there's open garbage, trash right over there. So I'm asking you to do the right thing. That's my question.
I'll drive by there.
Yeah, I just go over there, all you gotta do is drive around Shelburn, just look on the corner.
Yeah.
Right north of it, Park Street and Wall Street. They just finished Wall Street, and there's a big mud hole in front of those apartments that are washing the road out.
Yeah. No,
Now, I got the town backing on this. You don't come up here and complain, you see why. Nothing's being done.
thank you.
I'm gonna leave. Thank you.
It's literally all, if I have the 4 of them are grass pods.
And they've all been right up.
That's all that's
They're right up in the
All right.
So what happens after it?
So we pay that.
So, that's what I'm saying.
So you're talking literally on Wall Street? Houston, Mass?
Yeah.
Because the road is just going up, like, right down that from Indian, and it's 4 out of 5.
That one double wide there, I don't even know why it's still there. It's been written up and all the time.
I believe only one of them actually managed to live in it, the rest of them are okay, but.
So we need to find some too much.
I don't know, but it's people who live in the town that like, they live and rent out, you know what I mean, like their landlord, and they just let people that live there, do whatever, instead of going to rent, so.
Some local.
I could landlord,
I know.
he owns the property.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Add it on to their bill or?
It's that owner's responsibility.
Yeah.
One of them don't live here, and the other 4 are one, and the other wife, but then the rest of them are all.
I mean, I figure we just get appraisals on the cleanup and we'll send them, you got a week, just start doing some dollar hours.
Very got that established. Yeah, I got no one might have said it. Yeah, I just say, I mean, if we're gonna do it, let's do it, I don't do it.
I've got 4 right now that have been working from that, like a regular. Tonight or today, just to double check. And I'll work with Matt and these others. That's all right with council.
No, yeah.
That's all right, and I'll just, I'm kind of taking it all on 4 properties.
Yeah.
I want to go over these again and make sure we've got the deadlines in place, because we do have a,
I'm just waiting.
process.
I'm just waiting on Doc to call back on one before I have to respond yet.
Okay. Yeah, the ones I'm looking at are, the movie theater, right here. Thomas and Mill, Buckle and Griffith, which is the old church. We got here Buckle and Griffith, so where the old church, the dock ends. Mill Street, right here, it's Thomas and Mill, that whole theater. Walnut and Broadway, where Bedwars used to live, that garage is those walls and that. So that's the core I've been focusing on.
Not directly on money, but there's like a double wide line parcel and then the property. So like you pull out and go towards your house and look at that second property right on it.
Anything that you can. I mean, that was what Vincent, I mean, I was frustrated. He had my way.
That's okay. That one on Walnut and Broadway, that's the guy that wanted to burn it down.
Right.
The developer,
And what's the key to that? Behind it? Talking about overgrown, there's something to be done about 1017 West, West Madison. Jerry, do you remember where, on Madison Street, Lisa stuff used to live? It's that place, two lots right there. I mean, you got up this high, the trailer, the door, you can just open the door, walk in, kids to walk in, there's nobody living there, the lady that owns it, she's dead. Jay, can you explain to me? It's right next to me, man. Right west. Yeah, I mean, kids can go in there, and you don't know what's inside that trailer, because nobody lives there, they just open the window walk on in. So, yeah, I mean, she's got, three brothers, and they want nothing to do with it, they said it's for maximum, and her dad will be on there. Yeah, one lives in Lansing, we're working on these, I just got it, I wrote it down, I'm working on that, so we'll get it taken care of. Okay, and now, brush, stuff, I know, the building, it'll get taken care of, and it's mowed off or whatever. It may take 3 or 4 months, but okay, thank you. You're welcome.
I
This is more or less, that, I can't remember the name of the fund that we created, ordinance last year. I'm gonna put it down as downtown fund, that's correct. I was looking at the fund report, I don't think it got created yet, and I'm just asking if we can go back and look when we adopted that ordinance, and I think it got it. In fact, you did the research and put the ordinance together for us.
Is that the rent from buildings?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I'll make sure.
Okay, yeah, if you could, put that together. And what I was looking at, when we adopted it,
Transfer the money over.
yeah, I couldn't ask for any more, I appreciate that. If you get it done by, yeah. Okay, appreciate that. Okay, got the, quote from the asphalt doctor. I know Alex wanted to add to it, which I don't have a problem with that, but, I was just gonna see, we had a quote of 8,500, and that's another approximately 1,784 square feet, so 3 inches of asphalt, compact, seal edges, and pop hard. That is roads that I went out with Charlie Orr, and he measured them off. These are roads that had water leaks on them, we cut and repaired these. Some of them are fairly old, and, this is the quote he gave to, damaged roads. So I would like to, make a motion to go ahead and approve this quote that he put together for us, and then Alex has got something he wanted to add to it. Maybe we could have Charlie come back, Alex to put the list together that he needs, that he'd like to see done, and come back and revisit this maybe in another month or so. But I kinda like to get started on that to get it done.
I get the offer much of the policy. And I think it covers everything, and, yeah, I'll put all that way down there, fixing all those. And then there's one wall,
I'm sure
I think we have to look at it.
I'm sure we missed some, Jared, out, but it got, at least to get a great start. Let's get it out of the way.
There's also. Where do we intend to cut our roads through that? You know, the office, where, see all the quarry? They're drawing out 3 inches. You gotta put them in the list. I mean, now we're talking road, because, I mean, they have
typically accept the asphalt doctor's, proposal to fix the streets, paying a third out of the, sewer, a third out of the water, and, yes.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
You abstain?
Oh,
okay. So, second,
Yes, I said it. I actually look at the response from what
Yeah, right. I just need you to just approve it, just directly how you pay.
Did you get that list from Liz? For I gave her a list of things I needed for the water audit. Okay. Okay, now this one I did those. Thank you. 2 weeks ago. I restapled it twice. So I figured maybe it got lost. I don't know, but I guess it's. I'm sure you know what there is.
Can I have the floor for a half more second? Hey, just for clarification so that you can mark it correctly, the computer stand, that other one, that's for the white car, it wasn't for my vehicle. The white one, the computers, the new computers that we got, yeah, the new computers that we got were new computers, so they didn't fit the old ones that you guys allowed us to get, like those ones. So, they don't make them, the cradles are computer specific. So we had to order the cradle to match the computers that we got. Mine already had to do that, that's what we were ordering, but you can't get, so we bought the 33s, and they don't sell the old ones with the 31s. They don't sell those no more. The cradles aren't interchangeable, so that's where that came from. So it's for the white car, not for my car. Yeah.
Alex, you made a motion?
Anybody want to hear this?
So we got it set for we got it confirmed now.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
I think that's yours, ain't it?
I keep just saying like,